Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Yeah, dear students, welcome back to biology online classes. So we'll continue with the CET NEET chapter of plant kingdom. Move to question number 23. I think in the previous class we have finished up to question number 22. Now we'll move to question number 23. Okay. So question number 23. So that is which of the following statement is wrong? ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ರಾಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? Let's see which are the wrong statements. A. Algin and carrageen are products of algae. B. Agar agar is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. C. Chlorella and spirulina are used as space food. D. Mannitol is stored food in Rhodophyceae. Algin and carrageen are products of algae. Howda? Correct. Then algin, it is a product of brown algae. Hello? And carrageen, algin is a product of brown algae, and carrageen, it is a product of the red algae. Or commercially used agar is a product which is obtained from the algin, which is used as a solidifying agents for microbial culture. So this already we have studied in the theory class. Okay. So agar is one of the commercial products obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. They are used to grow the microbes as well as in the preparation of jellies and ice creams. So algin and carrageen. Algin is obtained from the brown algae, correct? And carrageen is obtained from the red algae. They are used as hydrocolloids. Means what? They have the ability to hold the water. So for transshipment of the plants from one place to another place, they will useful. They will not allow the plants to get dried. Okay. So they produce large amount of hydrocolloids, means water holding substances. So colloid means it is a semi-solid thing or semi-liquid thing, okay, which absorbs the moisture or water. Okay. So suppose if you want to transship a plant from one place to another place, okay, you should not allow it to dry. So you wrap it with the algin or alginate or alginic acid. So it acts like a best hydrocolloid, okay, or phycocolloid. Phyco means plants, correct? No? Okay. Then agar agar is obtained from Gelidium gracilaria. As I said, it is Gracilia and Gracilaria and Gelidium, which is obtained from red algae, used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies, as well as for the preparation of agar, a solidifying agent which is used in microbial preparations. See, chlorella and spirulina are used as space food, correct? They are unicellular green algae, and they can be used as a source of proteins even in the space travelers. D. Mannitol is stored food in Rhodophyceae. Mannitol. What is mannitol? Sugar alcohol. Correct? It is stored food in Rhodophyceae. Is it in Rhodophyceae? Mannitol is the stored food along with the laminaria in Phaeophyceae, in brown algae, not in red algae. So that is the incorrect option. So mannitol is stored food in Phaeophyceae, okay, not in Rhodophyceae. Next, male gametes are flagellated in A. Polysiphonia, B. Anabina, C. Ectocarpus, D. Spirogyra. ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅವುಗಳು ಮೊಟೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಎ ಪಾಲಿಸೈಫೋನಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಎ ರೆಡ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೋ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಮೊಟೈಲ್. ಅನಬಿನ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಮೊನೆರಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಟೋಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಯೋಫೈಸಿಯಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನಾನ್ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲೇಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ filamentous unicellular algae. It is a green algae, belongs to Chlorophyceae member. We will move to question number 25. Which of the following is responsible for peat formation? Peat ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಒಂಥರ ಇದು ಗೊಬ್ಬರ. So there are 4 options. A. Markensia, B. Rixia, C. Funaria, D. Sphagnum. So sphagnum, it is commonly called as the peat moss. So this sphagnum, which belongs to bryophytes, a moss, correct? They have clearly mentioned during the economic importance of bryophytes, peat moss or bog moss, that is the sphagnum. The dried specimen of which you can burn and you can use as a source of fuel in order to obtain light energy as well as the heat energy. Then option C, Funaria. Funaria is a type of moss, belongs to bryophytes. Then Rixia. Rixia is a liverwort. This is also belongs to bryophytes. Rixia, Markensia. Markensia is dioecious, where the sexes are separate, whereas the Rixia is monoecious. Both the sexes are present in the single individual in case of Rixia. Similarly, Markensia. Markensia is also a liverwort, belongs to bryophyte. So here the right option is option D. Next, coming to question number 26. Male gametophyte with the least number of cells present in. Male gametophyte. Gametophyte is a structure which forms gametes. Okay, they have least number of cells in A. Teres, B. Funaria, C. Lilium, D. Pinus. So the right answer is C. Lilium. Lilium belongs to angiosperms, flowering plants. Okay, the process called as microsporogenesis, and through the process of microsporogenesis the microspores are produced. Microspore mother cell, it undergo microsporogenesis by the process of meiosis or the reduction, and it forms a microspore tetrad. Andre 4 microspores are produced by the haploid division. So that microspore tetrad, which forms the later microspore, this is nothing but the male gametophyte. The male gametophyte. So by mitosis, repeated division, it forms the pollen grains. It forms the pollen grains. So pollen grains are nothing but the pollen grains, microspore, male gametophyte. microspore which after mitosis differentiation it forms the pollen grains, that is the male gametophyte. So this pollen grains contains a very limited number of cells, say around 2 to 3 cells only. So the least number of cells which are present in the angiospermic male gametophyte, that is pollen grains, as you can see in case of Lilium. Teres, Funaria, Pinus, idralella number of cells present in the male gametophyte is comparatively more than the angiosperms. So those are not the right options. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ is diploid 2n. It acts like a microspore mother cell and undergo meiosis and form microspore tetrad which is haploid, which later form which is nothing but the microspore. ಟೆಟ್ರಾಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ 4 ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಸಿಂಗಲ್. It undergoes mitosis and differentiation and finally forms the pollen grains. So these are pollen grains are also haploid in number, and these pollen grains are nothing but the male gametophyte. Now you have studied during the economic importance of bryophytes like sphagnum. Sphagnum or the peat moss, they can act like a fuel, isn't it? And also studied some economic importance of bryophytes. Just to go through it, because question may come from that particular part. That is also a very important part. All right. Shall we move to question number 27? Yes. An alga which can be employed as a food for human being is, ಇದು ಆಲ್ಗಾ ಫುಡ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್. ಯಾವುದದು ಆಲ್ಗಾ? ಎ ಇಲೋಥ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ಬಿ ಕ್ಲೊರೆಲ್ಲಾ, ಸಿ ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರಾ, ಡಿ ಪಾಲಿಸೈಫೋನಿಯಾ. ಇಲೋಥ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫೈಸಿಯೇ, green algae. Chlorella belongs to green algae. It is unicellular green algae. It can be used as a source of food. As space travelers we discussed. Spirogyra is a chlorophyceae green algae. Polysiphonia is a red algae, belongs to rhodophyceae. Question number 28. Isogamous condition with non-flagellated gametes is found in. Isogamous condition ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. non-flagellated gametes it is found in ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ? Isogamous ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? The gametes are similar in size. They may be motile in case of Chlamydomonas, or they may be non-motile as in case of Spirogyra. With the non-flagellated gametes it's found in that Spirogyra, option D. Volvox here oogamous type of sexual reproduction takes place. Fucus nalli kuda oogamous. Oogamous andre enu? There are two types of gametes. Male gametes are smaller compared to the female gametes. Male gametes are motile and they are having flagella. Female gametes are non-motile and they are larger and static. They cannot move. Chlamydomonas alli isogamous as well as anisogamous ಎರಡು ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲಾ ಇದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಐಸೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಮತ್ತು ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೈಜ್, ಒಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮಿಟ್ ಸಣ್ಣದು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮಿಟ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅನೈಸೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅನೈಸೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್. Anisogamous ಅಂದರೆ just you have to remember there are two different size gametes. One is male gamete is smaller when compared to the female gamete, it's larger. So they may be having flagella or they may not be having flagella. Usually Chlamydomonas nalli flagella ide. Next, question number 29. The system of classification of plants proposed by these two botanists is claimed to be natural system. Natural system of classification given by yaru? Yes, students, it is Bentham and Hooker. This question already we have discussed. Okay. Then Darwin and Wallace, these are the naturalists. They have proposed the natural selection. The individual or the species which are fit in all the aspects, they are selected by the nature. So that is called as the natural selection. There will be struggle for existence. Then there is first overproduction. For example, if you take a large sea, so there are fish populations. Fish lays enormous number of eggs. Imagine if all the eggs are survived, then the sea will be full of fishes only. There will be no other organisms. There is no chance for other organisms to grow. Okay, so there is overproduction and there is struggle for existence, and there will be survival of the fittest. One who is fittest in the race will survive, and they can reproduce and carry their offsprings, children, progeny to the next generation, and those will be selected by the nature. It's called as natural selection. Natural selection theory was given by Alfred Wallace and Charles Darwin. Then Engler and Prantl, they have arranged the flowering plants according to the increasing complexity of their floral morphology. According to the increasing complexity of their floral morphology. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದು plants, see their flowers which are more having more structural complex, okay, according flowering plants according to the increasing complexity of their floral morphology, means their system considered monocots as primitive than the dicots. Monocots are no primitive when compared to the dicots. ಅಂದರೆ monocots are more primitive, ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಂದಿನಿಂದ ಬಂದದ್ದು ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಡೈಕಾಟ್ಸ್. ಡೈಕಾಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಫ್ಲೋರಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿಯ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ. ಆಯಿತಾ? ಈಗ ಜಿಮ್ನೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೇಕೆಡ್ ಸೀಡ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಲೋವರ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇರ್ತದ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಥ್ಯಾಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಲಸ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ನಂತರ ಬರೋದು ಬ್ರಯೋಫೈಟ್ಸ್, ನಂತರ ಬರೋದು ಟೆರಿಡೋಫೈಟ್ಸ್, ನಂತರ ಬರೋದು ಜಿಮ್ನೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ನಂತರ ಬರೋದು ಆಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಆಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅವನ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಎಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ. ಸೊ ಆ ಎಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಡೈಕಾಟಿಲಿಡನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮೊನೊಕಾಟಿಲಿಡನೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಹೇಳಿದ ಮೊನೊಕಾಟಿಲಿಡನೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂತು, ನಂತರ ಬಂದದ್ದು ಡೈಕಾಟಿಲಿಡನೆ ಅಂದ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ದ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದೇಯರ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಯಾವುದುಂಟು ಫ್ಲವರಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸನ್ನು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ Engler and Prantl. They have done this classification system in the year 1886. Engler ಮತ್ತು Prantl. Okay. Next, Aristotle and Theophrastus. Theophrastus, he is the father of botany. Theophrastus yaru? Father of botany. So he has written two important books. One is on the history of plants. On the history of plants. And another book is on the causes of plants. On the causes of plants. These are the two important books written by Theophrastus. Theophrastus. He is famously known as father of botany. Father of botany. Then Aristotle, you know Aristotle, he has scientifically classified the plants into herbs, shrubs and taller plants as trees. And he has grouped the animals which are having blood and which are not having no blood. No blood means invertebrates, and which are having blood means vertebrates. Correct? Okay. So that is about Aristotle. So Aristotle is known as father of science. Theophrastus may be the father of botany, but Aristotle is both father of botany as well as father of zoology. So he is famously known as father of science itself. Then there is one more important scientist you must know, who is John Hutchinson. Note down, John Hutchinson. Who is this John Hutchinson? He has given the phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. That means he has studied the different fossils of plants, and he has studied the characters of plants depending upon their ancestry. So how the existing plants they are similar to their ancestors, or how they are different from their ancestors, and they have classified the different plants depending upon the phylogenetic relationship or evolutionary relationship, ancestral characters depending upon the fossil evidence. So he is a British botanist. He is a John Hutchinson. He is a British botanist. Who has carried his work from the year 1926 to 1934. 1926 to 1934. So Aristotle has given two kingdom system of classification. John Hutchinson is given phylogenetic system of classification. Theophrastus, father of botany. Aristotle, father of science. Theophrastus has written two books on history of the plants and on the causes of plants. Darwin and Wallace are the naturalists. Bentham and Hooker has given natural system of classification. If you remember, what is the natural system of classification is based on? It is based not only on the external features, but it is also based on the internal features like ultrastructure, then anatomy, study of internal features, embryology, study of their embryos, as well as the phytochemistry, what is the biochemicals which are present in the plants. Okay, such a classification of flowering plants was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. Okay, so they are the professors of botany in the University of Berlin. In the University of Berlin. So they have given the classification in the year 1892, around in the year 18. They have published books, different botany books in the year 1892. So they are professors in the Berlin, John Dalton and Bentham Hooker. George Bentham and Joseph Dalton. George Bentham and Joseph Dalton. So these scientists' name you must remember because question may come. And Engler and Prantler in the 1886 they arranged the flowering plants according to the increasing complexity of their floral morphology. Floral ಹೂವಿನ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಇದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ನಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ನವರೆಗೆ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟದು ಯಾರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಂಗ್ಲರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರ್ಯಾಂಟ್ನರ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಶಾಲ್ ವಿ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 30. ಸೈಕಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ರಿಸೆಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ಈಚ್ ಅದರ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್. ಸೈಕಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ಅದು ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದನ್ನೊಂದು ರಿಸೆಂಬಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಎ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್, ಬಿ ಮೊಟೈಲ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಸಿ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್, ಡಿ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಯಾವುದು ನೋಡ, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಸೈಕಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಜಿಮ್ನೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಹೀಗೆ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಅದರ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಪರ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಫರ್ಮ್. So both these, that is cycas and adiantum, resembles each other in having motile sperms. They are having motile sperms ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲ್ಲ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಎರಡು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಸೈಕಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತು ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ cambium, they are common in gymnosperms but they are absent in pteridophytes. Adiantum is a pteridophyte ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್. ಜಿಮ್ನೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಡ್ ಇರೋದು. ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್. ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ದ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, Cambium is a structure, okay, it is helpful for increasing the diameter of the stem as well as the root. So this is found only in case of the higher vascular plants like in gymnosperms and in angiosperms. Then true vessels are absent in both pteridophytes and gymnosperms. ಟ್ರೂ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? ಸೈಲಮ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ಫ್ಲೋಯಮ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಸೈಲಮ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಫ್ಲೋಯಮ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫುಡ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಹೈಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು? ಏಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅನಾಟಮಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಇರೋದು ಏಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೈಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ವೆಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು. ಓಕೆ, but it is absent in the other lower forms. So that is also incorrect, that will also not match. So only the matching answer is the motile sperms, that is cycas and adiantum resembles each other in having motile sperms, that is the option B. Okay, so cambium is the tissue which helps for the secondary growth. Under secondary growth ಅಂದರೆ increasing the diameter of the stem as well as the root in case of higher plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms which is absent in pteridophytes. So pteridophytes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಡ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ವೆಸೆಲ್ಲು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೈಕಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆದರೆ vessels is not well developed. So right answer is option B. We'll move to question number 31. Which one of the following is an example for chlorophyllous thallophyte? ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಥ್ಯಾಲೋಫೈಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಥ್ಯಾಲೋಫೈಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ವ. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದು ಆನ್ಸರು? ಎ ವಾಲ್ವೆ ವಾಲ್ವೇರಿಯಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಜೀನಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್. ಸ್ಪೈರೋಗೈರಾ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ನೆಫ್ರೋಲೆಪಿಸ್, it is a fern, it is a pteridophyte. Okay, it is not a thallophyte, it's a pteridophyte. Then neetum is a gymnosperm. Okay, it is not a thallophyte. Okay, then coming to question number 32, which of the following is not an algal product? ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಆಲ್ಗದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಎ ಕೆರಾಜಿನ್, ಬಿ ಅಗಾರ್ ಅಗಾರ್, ಸಿ kelp ash and ಡಿ aflatoxins. ಕೆರಾಜಿನ್, then agar agar, kelp ash, ಕೆಲ್ಪನ್ನು ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಕೆಲ್ಪ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ, ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಗೋದು ಆ್ಯಶ್, ಕೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆ್ಯಶ್. ಅಗಾರ್ ಅಗಾರ್, ಕೆರಾಜಿನ್, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಆಲ್ಗಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಅಗಾರ್ ಅಗಾರ್ ಯು obtained ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ? ಜೆಲಿಡಿಯಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೆಸಿಲೇರಿಯಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ರೆಡ್ ಆಲ್ಗೆ. ಕೆರಾಜಿನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು obtained ಫ್ರಮ್ red algae, correct? Agar agar, one of the commercial products you are obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Gelidium and Gracilaria ದಿಂದ agar agar ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಸರಿಯಾ? Kerogen is a red algae. It can be used commercially for the preparation of agar. Kerogen is the red algae which can be used for the preparation of agar. Gelidium and Gracilaria, these are the red algae. Algin is the brown algae and kerogen is the red algae, are commercially used. So agar is the product which is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Okay, so let me write algin, mark it as important. Algin, which is the brown algae, which product you obtain from the brown algae, and kerogen, what you obtain from the red algae. Kerogen, note down the spelling. Kerogen you obtain from the red algae. So these both are used for as a source of hydrocolloids. Gracilaria, algin, brown, Gracilaria and Gelidium, these are the red algae, is used for the preparation of agar media and jellies and ice creams. So note down this. So algin is a brown algae from which you can obtain alginic acid or alginate. Okay, or algin is a substance you obtain from the algin, brown algae. Kerogen is you obtain from the red algae. Kerogen is red algae which can be used as a source of hydrocolloids. Gracilaria and Gelidium, these are the red algae used for the preparation of agar and jellies and ice creams. Next, D is aflatoxins. What are these aflatoxins? These are nothing but the poisonous carcinogens Aflatoxins are poisonous carcinogens ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಕಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಪಾಯ್ಸನಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಸಿನೋಜನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ these are produced by certain molds. Molds ಅಂದರೆ ಫಂಗಸ್, okay, which are growing in damp soil, which are growing in damp soil or upon any vegetable matters, on the vegetables, which are decaying ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊಳೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ವೆಜಿಟೇಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ಪರ್ಜಿಲ್ಲಸ್ flavus, Aspergillus flavus. Okay, we will move to question number 33. Select the wrong statement. In women's it is female gamete is smaller and motile. Wrong. Female gamete is larger and non-motile, while male gamete is larger ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆದರೆ male gamete is smaller and motile ಆಗಬೇಕು. So A is the wrong statement. B, Chlamydomonas exhibits both isogamy and anisogamy, correct, and fucus shows oogamy, correct. Isogametes are similar in structure, function and behavior, correct. Anisogametes differ in structure, function or behavior, correct. Question number 34. Cyanobacteria are associated with one of the following part of gymnosperms. A, secondary roots of Pinus, alla. Coralloid roots of Cycas, we have already discussed. Then C, sporophylls of Cycas alla, proembryo of Pinus alla. Match the plant structures given in the column 1, this is question number 35, with their plants given in column 2. Note, glycogen storage food in nostoc. Pyrenoids are storage food, type of carbohydrates and proteins. They are mainly found in Spirogyra. Then laminaria and mannitol, they are mainly found in Sargassum. Floridian starch, it is mainly found in Polysiphonia. So what is glycogen? When the carbohydrates, glucose, it is not utilized, it is stored in the form of glycogen in the liver in case of animals. So glycogen is a type of polysaccharide. You can also find in case of nostoc. Nostoc is an example for eubacteria, belongs to kingdom Monera. Okay. Pyrenoids, it is found in Spirogyra. Pyrenoids are found in Spirogyra. Mark it as important. Mark it as important, Spirogyra. So they mainly contains proteins beside starch. Pyrenoids contains proteins as the storage molecule apart from starch. Starch andre it is a complex polysaccharide. Okay. Then C is P, laminarian and mannitol, that is for Sargassum. Sargassum, it belongs to brown algae or Phaeophyceae. So mannitol is also called as sugar alcohol, note down. Mannitol also called as the sugar alcohol. Laminarian, it is a type of complex polysaccharide. Laminarian is a type of complex polysaccharide. Next, coming to the Floridian starch, it is the storage food in case of Polysiphonia. Polysiphonia is a red algae, belongs to Rhodophyceae. So they contains Floridian starch. Floridian starch as the stored food. So this Floridian starch is very similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. They are similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. So amylopectin is a water soluble polysaccharide and highly branched polymer of glucose found in plants. So water soluble polysaccharide and highly branched polymer of glucose. ವಾಟರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಬಲ್, ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತು ತುಂಬ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಚ್ಡ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಚೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅಮೈಲೋಪೆಕ್ಟಿನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗ್ಲೈಕೋಜನ್. The Floridian starch is similar to the structure in aminopectin as well as the glycogen. So it is found as a storage food in case of red algae or Rhodophyceae. Laminarian and mannitol in brown algae, very important. Glycogen in nostoc. Then in case of pyrenoids it contains proteins besides the starch, the storage food. See in case of green algae, example Spirogyra. So this is very important question, mark it as important. Question number 36. Linnaeus system of plant classification is artificial, natural, phylogenetic, none of the above. You have studied phylogenetic system of classification is given by John Hutchinson, who is a British botanist. Natural system of classification is given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton, and artificial system is given by Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus has given artificial system of classification. So according to him, the different organisms are grouped on the basis of non-evolutionary features, not according to the phylogenetic relationship, non-evolutionary features. So grouping together of the plants according to the number and situation of the stamens, grouping of the plants depending upon the numbers as well as the situation of the stamens, very male reproductive part, as well as style and stigma, female reproductive part, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಯಾವ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ, rather than the evolutionary relationship. So Carolus Linnaeus is Swedish botanist. He is a Swedish botanist. He was a Swedish botanist. So his classification mainly depends upon the floral characters. His classification mainly depends on the floral characters, especially the number and the position of the stamens, styles and stigma in case of flowers. So only it is an artificial way of classification. He has not considered the other natural characters present in the plants. He has not considered the chromosome number or phytochemistry or embryology, cell structure, etc. He has not considered. So it is artificial system. Natural system given by Bentham and Hooker. Remember. So answer is option A. Question number 37. Kelps are dash. Kelps are marine algae, the large marine algae which belongs to brown algae, Phaeophyceae. They are called as the kelps, giant brown algae. No, it's not freshwater algae or no amphibians plants or neither terrestrial plants. Question number 38. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D and phycoerythrin pigments are found in Rhodophyceae, option C, or the red algae. Basilorophyceae means what? These are the class of diatoms. Basilorophyceae are the class of diatoms. Note down. Question number 39. In Chlamydomonas, meiosis occurs in zygote. So it is called as zygotic meiosis. You have studied in aplontic life cycle. That is option B. Hold fast is a structure you can find. Hold fast. It is a structure similar to that of roots. Correct? So type is similar to or resembles to that of stem, and there is a frond which is similar to that of leaves. These are all the characteristic features you can find in Phaeophyceae or in brown algae. Zoospores. Zoospores are the reproductive spores which are having flagella. Okay, you can see in certain algae and in fungi. Then cells of filament, there is nothing. So in Chlamydomonas, meiosis occurs in the zygote. We'll move to question number 40. A specialized structure for asexual reproduction in liverworts is A. Gemmae, B. Zoospores, C. Sporangia, D. Microspores. So Gemmae, these are the multicellular green photosynthetic structures which are present within the gemma cups, which are found on the thallus, isn't it, in case of bryophytes, liverworts. Then zoospores, these are the asexual spores, and they are motile since they are having flagella. You can see zoospores in brown algae. They are biflagellated zoospores. They are having two flagella which are unequal in size. Okay. There are flagellated zoospores with 2 to 8 and apical in position, also in Chlorophyceae, who are equal in their size. ಎರಡರಿಂದ 8 equal size flagella ಇರ್ತದೆ apical position ನಲ್ಲಿ in case of Chlorophyceae. They are the zoospores, motile asexual spores, or they may be having in case of brown algae biflagellated zoospores which are 2 and unequal and present laterally, not apically, they are present laterally. Sporangia is the spore bearing fruiting body structure, that is called as sporangia. Microspores. So microspores are undergoing mitosis, differentiation, and forms pollen grains. So a specialized structure for asexual reproduction in liverworts is Gemmae. It's in Gemmae. So we have finished to question number 40. We will move to question number 41. Seed habit is an important step in evolution. It is due to A. heterogamy, B. heterospory, C. homospory, D. homogamy. Very important question. Seed habit is an important step in evolution. It is due to heterospory. If you see in case of pteridophytes, vascular embryophytes, okay, land plants, there are two types of spores are exhibiting. One is homospores, another one is one is smaller one, another one is the larger one. Smaller spores, they are called as microspores, and the larger spores are called as megaspores or macrospores. So two kinds of spores are produced, that is why it is called as heterospory. Okay. So what happens here? The female gametophyte which is formed, which find attached to the sporophytic plant. Sporophytic plant is dominant in case of pteridophytes. Okay. In angiosperms as well as in gymnosperms, the sporophytic plant, this is diploid 2n, it is dominant over gametophyte. So you see in case of angiosperms, in the higher flowering plants, there are male gametes and female gametes, or male sex organ and female sex organ which is present in the flower. So flower is found attached to the sporophytic plant. This flower is having male gamete as well as the female gamete. Hello. So that female gamete is having ovary style stigma which is found attached to the sporophyte for considerable amount of time. Even in case of gymnosperms as well as in pteridophytes, the female gametophyte which depends upon the sporophyte, it's considerably found attached to the sporophyte. So from the pteridophytes gymnosperms are evolved, and from the gymnosperms angiosperms are evolved. So during the course of evolution, what happened, due to the heterospory nature, two different types of spores. One may you compare with the pollen grains of the higher plants, one may you can compare with the egg of the higher plants. Due to this heterospory nature, there is a chance that the female gametophyte, which produces female gamete, which is fertilized by the male gamete, and this female gamete is retained, or female gametophyte itself is retained on the sporophyte for considerable amount of time, and that is leads to the seed habit, formation of seed in case of gymnosperms later, as well as fruit in case of angiosperms later. So that is the basis for the seed formation in the course of evolution. That is why heterospory is a very important term, important condition you can see in case of pteridophytes. Question number 42. Which ones belongs to Pteropsida? A. Equisetum and Xylotum, B. Lycopodium and Ediantum, C. Selaginella and Teres, D. Teres and Ediantum. Which one of them belongs to Pteropsida? If you take pteridophytes, these pteridophytes are classified into 4 different classes. You remember, you studied in theory, Xylopsida, to which Xylotum belongs, Lycopsida, to which Selaginella and Lycopodium belongs, Sphenopsida, to which Equisetum belongs, and Pteropsida, for which Dryopteris, Teres and Ediantum belongs. Okay? Xylopsida. So 4 major classes of pteridophytes. Xylopsida, to which Xylotum belongs to. Then Lycopsida, to which Selaginella and Lycopodium belongs. Lycopodium. Xylopsida, Lycopsida, then Sphenopsida, Sphenopsida, to which Equisetum belongs, Sphenopsida, then the 4th one is Pteropsida, to which Dryopteris, Teres, and Ediantum belongs to. This is very important question. The exam. Xylopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida are the 4 major classes of Pteridophyta. So, common name of Ediantum is the walking fern. Then Selaginella is commonly known as spike moss. Selaginella is commonly known as spike moss, because if you see the leaves, it looks like a spiky hair. That is why Selaginella is commonly called as spike moss. It is not a moss, but it resembles the moss. It is a pteridophyte, commonly called as spike moss. Lycopodium, it looks like a club, ಬೆತ್ತದಾಗಿ ಉದ್ದ. So it is commonly called as club moss. It is called as club moss, Lycopodium. Xylotum, it is commonly known as whisk fern. This is commonly called as whisk, not whiskey, whisk fern. So if you see like this, present like this, the structure you use for clean your hairs, like a fern, it looks like a whisk, so that is called a whisk fern. Or even if you see for preparation of curd you are using, it looks like that. So that is the fern, it is called as whisk fern. So Xylotum is commonly called as whisk fern. Equisitum, it is commonly called as horse tail. If you see this particular pteridophyte, it resembles the tail of a horse, so it is commonly called as horse tail. Adiantum is commonly called as walking fern. It's commonly called as walking fern. So these are some of the common names you must remember for the exam. So students, which ones belongs to Pteropsida? Teres and Adiantum, which belongs to Pteropsida. So I have completed up to question number 42. Rest will continue in the next session. So take down the points which I written on the board and also note down my lecture points. And thank you students for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.